Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Terrific. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I've got a bit of a headache at the moment, actually. It's nice, not the best.
Did you have
Would
some
my
sugar?
talking help or hurt that?
Not sick.
No comment. We'll see how the session goes. Hey, how are you?
Doing terrific. How are you doing?
Okay. Welcome to Stars of Unknown Ardent, week 6. I'm in that weird position where I feel like we've either done less or more, but not exactly 6 weeks. But it's the 6th week. How's everyone doing? Aside from Scott, he's already said his line. It's weird because I'm looking. Scott's over there, but he's on the right on my actual monitor.
You're over here from me, but I don't know where that is on. I have to load it up.
You know what? I'm just gonna cover your face. It's gonna be
Yay!
so much easier for me. Done.
There you go. Are you here?
Stop poking me.
Oh, it's accurate. Hey! I'm sorry. I'm done wasting time. Let's go.
So, no one has anything to discuss.
Yeah. I am going to sit here quietly
You better, mister.
and play insert product placement until
Insert
we've
name
not got
here.
any.
Listen, if you weren't such a little bitch, you could be a part of this session.
Wow.
Okay, so, speaking of little bitch, Davis is currently crying. No.
Oh,
So,
that was rough.
what happened? You better take it as well as you deal it, mister. Last session, the crew of the Magpie, on their job of basically dealing with the terrorist threat of Excalibur, were chaperoning a large food cargo ship via the name of the Flowering Rose. It was revealed that it was being tampered with the ultimate goal of their trying to blow the reactor in such a way to flood the ship and the station it's connected to with radiation, which is not an easy task because there are so many fail-safes involved in it, and they have to hack it and blah 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 blah. In doing so, you stopped the Excalibur sort of strike team that were trying to do it, but not without a casualty, which was Jason. And Jason passed away in the combat, despite everyone attempting to their hardest to try and save him. So this session starts the morning after that whole event. The night was spent with Davis sort of arranging the body and processing. Anna was trying to organize sort of the security forces and the press, and basically being the one to answer all the difficult questions about why they were here, why they were firing in a trading post, all those sorts of things. Whereas Rain and Tomaz basically just went back to lick their wounds, and Tomaz was very injured. He'd take a bullet, he was stabbed in the side, and I have been imagining that Tomaz was kind of teaching Rain how to stitch him up slightly during this, because they were together and not apart in a slightly emotional sort of moment. The morning after, the ship is quiet. There's no radio, as sometimes there has been in the past. Even though you are connected to Wace's trading station, you can't hear anything. I mean, your ship is a complete separate ecosystem. If you were hearing stuff going on in there aside from large explosions, something's wrong. So you just hear sort of silence of the ship. And really, the question is, what's your plans?
I'll just kick off by saying that my character currently is just, as I was saying beforehand, barely going through daily motions. Actually spending a lot of time in his room. It's one of those things where, like I said, he still shaves and whatnot, but if you look at him, it almost looks like, and you look at the mess inside the room, it almost looks like that room kind of belongs to him now. like the we'll say general ambiance of what was that room before. It almost matches what you see in the
Yes.
man that resides in it.
The old
So
captain's quarters.
yeah, so that's kind of what's going on at the moment for me.
When the other two of you wake up, I mean, you know, it was a long day. You obviously you either got no sleep or a lot of sleep, and you can be anywhere on that spectrum. But when you sort of like prepare for the day, you know, Anna is still up and about, still kind of organizing things. She's very clearly gone into sort of handle it mode, as some people do under stress and pressure. How's y'all doing?
I would say that I would let the morning go on as usual. At first, like I'd have breakfast, I would do my like morning workout, try to be as routine as possible, but avoid people at first just because he's not sure how exactly everyone's feeling. And then maybe at like closer to noon, he would like find a way to get over to Davis and kind of like knock on like the door frame of the room he's in, just kind of like to check up on him.
Davis would go over and answer the door. There's no reason why he wouldn't do that, right? And so he would come over and open up the door, and just as I described, it's one of those. You see the mess and how it's expanded behind him, but not like not incredibly, just little bits. And
Right.
Instead of walking around it, kind of like living in it. And I'm just like, Tomas, how's the ship?
The ship's actually all right. We seem to have stopped a terrible thing from happening.
Yeah.
We paid dearly for that, obviously, but Captain, what's next?
So, have we spoken to their commander yet? Did Jason?
Anna's got it. Anna's been talking to everyone. She's clued everyone in. We need to go probably meet, but they've given us at least a day or two to get over the fact that we just lost someone protecting them. There's a lot of answers that still need to be, well, a lot of questions that still need to be answered, but Anna's been doing her best. She truly has.
Well, she was maybe the second pick, so I guess that's a good thing. Okay.
I walk over to where he keeps his whiskey, and I pour 2 glasses, bringing him back 1 glass.
You notice that from the last time he came to the room till now, the level hasn't changed.
Yep. I would still pour it, and I would actually start drinking it straight. And you could probably easily see that I hate it, but I'm trying so hard to hide it. I'm like, so we're still gonna need you to take lead. Are you capable? Have you lost a man before?
I've lost those under my command before. Yeah. Yeah, it was war, right?
Exactly. Well, I know this is tough on you, but you're gonna have to really take control of the situation, unless you trust Anna and me to. And I know we're not gonna do as good as a job as you could. And I mean, Rain, I guess, could, but I feel she'll turn it into some type of song and start singing with her guitar about it. It just might be awkward. I mean, all of us grieve different ways, and obviously we're all affected. I mean, I was there. I couldn't save his life, but we're going to have to put off grieving for now until we can figure out what we're doing.
Yeah, let me know what we're doing when you figure it out.
You see like a sign of like just defeat on his face. He nods to that and he puts down his glass of 2-sip taken out of it whiskey onto the table, and he says, "You know, I will. I hope you'll be all right." And he like gives him like a look, just kind of like a sympathetic look, and he smiles at him slightly and walks out.
Eye contact wasn't even made at that like tail
Yep.
end there. You imagine he's worlds away at the moment.
Absolutely.
When you walk out, because you have to go out through the bridge,
Yep.
you bump into Anna, probably as the auto doors close, right?
Yep.
And she kind of clearly figures out where you've been, and she's just not slept, and is just like kind of gives you an asking look. She doesn't say anything yet.
Right.
Mhm.
I would address her and I would say, so what's come of the people outside? Do they know everything that's happened? Did they believe you?
They know everything. I mean, this isn't Pike, and we're working for Pike, so of course there's some stress, but we're fine. I managed to talk it over with the security people. The Salish Serrano guy we're working for sent some sort of message in the night that cleared most things up. I assume money exchanged hands. We're not going to be arrested or anything. But we should probably leave soonish, after a couple of days at least.
Yeah, I would say we need at least 2 days to, 1, grieve, 2, really start talking to the members of the ship we're protecting, because, well, this was obviously an attack on them, and maybe they'll take things more serious now that we've cleared the planned attack, because there might be a second attack coming. There might be who knows what coming. So I feel we need to have a sit-down conversation with their captain and probably say, okay, look, you thought, oh, it was funny, nothing's going to happen, it was just a threat. It's happening. We need to come up with an actual plan to protect you now. Much like what he looks over at like the sliding door and then back at Anna. Davis tried to do with him, but he didn't seem to take too seriously.
Yeah, agreed. Good chance this might happen again, or I mean, there's 2 other ships, so
Right.
I'll prepare to get us off to Novus tonight. You want to like drink?
He looks at her and goes, I really would love to, but I'm not sure if we should. And he like turns back at the door again and goes, he's not in good shape. This is...
I wasn't going to ask him.
Well,
I know where he's been. He needs more time before I can even get through those doors and get anything into his head.
fair enough. Sure, but let's go gather rain and, you know, let's just see where everyone's mind is at first.
Yeah. I'm gonna... And then she kind of like goes off to like sleep.
Yep.
And
You just see
after
her
a
like
couple-
zombie walk.
Yeah, exactly. And after like 4 hours or so, when it is ship time night,
I would say like a couple of hours after Thomas, Rain is going to go to Davis's quarters. But I will, firstly, Rain throughout the day she's been more or less her usual self, maybe a bit more subdued, but she's also been trying to help out with a lot more things. Like she's done all of the normal gun checks and stuff. And then she's like to Thomas, are there any other checks I can help with? Any stuff like that?
like you
And
could have
just-
arranged like refueling the ship or something,
Yeah,
just because you got time, and so
yeah, she's not like she's not like probably clued in a lot of the things because she's not clever enough to do a lot of the things. But what she's trying to be helpful.
she can handle some stuff.
Yeah, and so a couple of hours after Thomas, she's going to go up and knock on Davis's door. Is Davis?
Same thing as before. Is he would again would go over and answer the door. Little wait, maybe 15 seconds or so. Would go over and answer the door. When the door opens up, you see, same as I described beforehand. Is she particularly perceptive?
I mean, she's meant to be reasonably emotionally intelligent.
Yes.
So you might even catch like a smell of whiskey as soon as the door is opened up, and whatever your initial thoughts would be, shortly after that, you would like look and see there's a full glass of whiskey untouched, and a glass that was a couple sips missing from it, sitting nearby the first glass, over by the door.
Boss, can I come in? Just we should have a chat.
Yeah, and he kind of like gestures over towards, into the room for you.
Well, there's a couple of things, really. First, I ain't gonna pretend to know what you need in this, with something like this. I ain't know. I can't read your mind. I don't know what's gonna help you. It's obviously hurt. What happened to Jason's obviously hurt us all. It's hurt me a lot. He was a good man, and I'm not very good with doctors and smart people, and even I know he was a good man. And you were a lot closer to him than any of us, so I can only imagine. I can't even imagine what you're going through, and I don't think you're probably the type to talk about it, but if you do want to talk, I'm willing to listen. But I just wanted you to know that anything I can do to help you out, help the ship out, I'm willing to do it. No, rather than willing to do it, please let me do it. Like, when you feel ready to come out and take command, if you want me helping out with the paperwork or anything like that, I know I ain't too smart, but I'm sure I can do some of the simpler things that you do regularly, like the over checks and such like. I figure that's the least. I feel like Jason was helping me out a lot. He was helping me out with a lot of things. He was helping me work through stuff, and I figure I need to stop running away from everything and try and grow myself. It's the least I can do to honor his memory, I think we should all be thinking about what to do to honor his memory, because he's gone and we're not going to get him back. So I'm going to do what I can to honor his memory. So as I say, please, or let me do what I can on the ship and do what you can on the ship. I think that's the best thing we can do.
Lets that linger for a few seconds, and then he says, well, I suppose there's something you can do. And he'll reach over and grab his data pad, which is probably underneath something. And he grabs it and he picks it up and he unlocks it. If battery is a thing that exists, I imagine that it's a kind of a low battery.
Yeah.
Which he is definitely not the kind of person to let a battery run low.
Correct. You're not an Aryan.
And shade thrown. And he would just instantly swipe over, sends you some files, and say, this is a Pike base, and so technically they're going to need this paperwork. So if you can handle that for me, I'd appreciate it.
Sure, I'm on it, boss. And like I say, I figure you ain't the type to talk about your feelings, but if you want to, just give me a call. And she goes to leave, and then as she sort of is about to exit the door, she just puts her hand on the wall and says, "Say, boss, do you have something that really makes you feel when you do it, whatever it is, that makes you feel like life is worth living? It can be anything, like sitting down in a comfy chair with a nice cup of coffee, or, I mean, for me, it's the sound of the rain out on the window. It really just makes me think, yeah, life's okay despite everything. Do you have something like that?"
Once again, lingers for a few seconds, and then he, almost like he snaps to, like he realizes that was a question and not a statement, and he takes a couple extra moments to realize what it was that you're asking, parsing through what he heard, and then he responds, "We had a plan, and sometimes we'd talk about it. If the crew was sleeping or the bridge was empty, and I guess that's not going to happen anymore, is it?"
Maybe not in the same form, but a plans, you can make small changes to him. I mean, I said about honoring his memory. Maybe he'd like you to keep going with that plan. I don't know. You knew him better than me, but just, if it's something that helps you keep going, I'd say keep it in your mind and don't let go of it, you know?
Yeah. It's funny. You say I knew him better than you. It's obviously true. But one could argue he knew each one of us better than each one of us.
You might be right about that.
Comms officer for a reason.
And the doctor. I mean, he was getting in my head, and I don't know what's going on in my head. So.
Damn glue that held this ship together. Don't tell Tom Oz I said that.
I think he just wanted to be replacing all the things that are literally holding the ship together. Go out and fix all the plating, you know, if you heard that. But yeah, I know what you mean. But Davis, I think though you got a point that he knew all of us, I think you're holding us together as much as he was. And I think he wouldn't want you to let everything fall apart, you know?
Yep. And he's like, you can clearly tell, when you say that, triggers some sort of memory of his, and he kind of goes back into his little hole, his little mental hidey hole. That's all I would call it.
Rain lingers for a few more moments in the doorway, slightly sad smile, and then leaves.
Oh.
And then, not soon after that, I imagine, Anna will sort of
Jesus Christ.
we'll gather Rain,
Okay.
and be like, she asked Thomas. The Rain's just like, we're going out.
Yeah, no. Rain was sort of half planning on it anyway.
Bring your guitar.
Yeah, we gotta
just bring it.
Yeah.
And one thing that I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I would assume, considering it's the captain's quarters, Mr. Scott is distracted by his dog. You probably would have all the ship's cameras on one of the screens, and you'd be able to see the three of them leaving.
I mean, I honestly imagine that while that would be true for the captain's quarters, I imagine it's flicked off.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I imagine even all the monitors are flicked off just because sometimes they blink too brightly, or sometimes it's too much beeping. And
gotcha.
You know, yeah.
Like I said, Wars as a planet is a trading post of a lot of places where people live in this system. There's actually another planet where people retire to when they're done, like living in this like whole mining facility and stuff. But where you are right now is this sort of like semi-orbital trading post where big ships like the Flowering Rose can come in and not get completely destroyed because it's got a thin atmosphere, but it's still got an atmosphere and the gravity more than the atmosphere. But it's this platform is for people coming in and has quite a lot of community and things going. And immediately Anna will sort of like find some dive bar-y kind of place where you can get both your food and your liquor. Where, interestingly enough, the slight rain from outside is trickling on some of the windows. Although you can't hear it, because if you could, those windows would be too thin and bad things would happen. It's kind of, Anna very almost deliberately went to a dive bar. Just somewhere where she would feel comfortable, and she would immediately order like a round of beers and just sort of just ask for food. They'd be like, well, what do you want? It's just plates, bowls,
everything,
whatever, right? Yeah. And after a bit, the three of you would be served a sort of ramen type dish and beers that are just generic beers, and she would just sort of like relax and drink for a bit. You're definitely not the only people here. There's a lot of people. There's some people even talking about the stuff that's going on. Rain, you might even think like a couple of people are like looking at you a bit.
Yeah, I stand out for most out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so while we've got the drinks and food, I mean, at some point, Rain's just going to raise a glass to Jason and his memory.
Clink. You're muted, Will. On Zoom.
Yeah, I got you. Clink as well, and then takes a big hard drink, and he goes, well, if we're gonna honor his memory, he turns to Anna and goes, do you happen to see a place where I could get a tattoo around here?
No, but I don't think it would take very hard to look.
He puts down the rest of his drink.
She's already drank. She's tired.
Yeah.
Definitely not Ollie being an idiot.
He finishes off the one beer, puts it down, and goes, well, I'll be back in about an hour, so I assume you'll be here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes off looking for like a tattoo shop or someone to do a tattoo.
Which would be easy enough to find in a place like this, to find a tattoo shop.
I need a wireless headset just for dog cuddles because she keeps pulling my wire and I'm like, ah.
Just for dog cuddles.
What are you gonna get tattooed?
I am going to get the letter J in binary tattooed on my chest, on my pec.
How the fuck do you spell J in binary?
Because he's actually
Like
smart.
no. I mean like ones and zeros that like make the shape of J, or
No,
just binary
the ones and
letters?
zeros that mean J.
Can we Google that?
I got you already. It's already done. Come on.
That means J.
I'm not some
That's
amateur.
J.
Yeah. That's J in binary.
He thought this through.
I thought this through.
Yeah, and you can easily do so. While you're sitting there, eventually at some point, Rain, Anna will realize that people are looking at you as well. Mm-hmm. And kind of like, kind of defensively, like kind of be like, what? As has happened many a time because Rain does stand out. I mean, I've just drawn her for something. She wears like a big duster and like has recently picked up a cowboy hat.
I was going to say she'd probably actually pick that up on the way to
on the way
bar.
there, like from a side stall. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And has a guitar, and they'll kind of like not stop. So Anna goes and walks over, and Rain, do you walk over as well? Or do you sort of?
No, when she goes to walk over, Rain's just like, don't worry about leave them be. They clearly want to hear my guitar. And she goes and gets it out and start playing.
They like actually let you play your guitar for a little bit. You don't have to do like a perform roll or anything, because you're not trying to like impress. You're just playing your guitar.
Yeah.
But after like a bit, one of them will come up with their data pad and be like, how did you do it? You two were two of the freedom fighters who killed the terrorists, right? How did you do it? And like they have their compad, and they actually sort of like bring up a still of Davis, Anna, and Rain running from the cover to like the sort of area where the airlocks were. And your faces are all like slightly blurred, like actually from privacy protection sort of software, but Rain stands out.
I mean, how do you stop any bad guy with a bullet?
There's like the other people in the back were clearly like wanted to come up but didn't. They're like they like and they start like having this bit of a conversation with you, Rain, about like how did you get into all this, and like giving Rain a bit of like a hero treatment that Anna doesn't stop but doesn't really join in as well. She just kind of like sits aside.
Rain's clearly realized. Rain's like, Anna's clearly doesn't want to get involved, and Rain knows this, and Rain's friendly to just about anyone anyway. So she's sort of playing along. Whether her heart is in it or not is another thing. But she's definitely doing her best impression of I'm a cheerful freedom fighter sort of person.
Yeah, they kind of refer to you as freedom fighters. They not really much a better word for just random unaligned people who killed terrorists. Some people might throw around the word hero. And when you come back, Jason, that gathering has just sort of stopped. And you can see, so you would have seen them like sort of saying goodbye to Rain.
You didn't mean that name.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
I was like,
I was triggered.
Oh, when Thomas came back.
He was back. It was a joke the whole time. Oh.
When Thomas comes back,
I was so excited.
When Thomas comes back, that gathering has just started. You would have seen it for a bit, and then by the time you actually get up to get into the bar, they would have left.
Yeah. When you get back up to them, Rangers sort of stare off into the distance, strumming a chord, like absently, doesn't even notice you come up.
He comes up and he goes, any trouble while I've been gone?
Anna will just kind of like bring up her own compad and just sort of like the local internet, and it's a picture of the three of them running.
Yep. So there's stories already written.
Yeah, seems like we're well known already.
He nods to that and goes, well, suppose I'll buy the next round. I was worried about this. Now Davis is taking this really hard, and we're going to have to talk to multiple people, and Davis is going to have to be a part of those conversations. But if we're getting stopped to talk about this, I don't think Davis will handle it very well, no matter how long it's been. He takes like a deep breath. Well, I guess we'll figure that out when the time comes. And he walks up to go grab drinks.
And Ray's like, well, I mean, you're going to be talking to the important people about everything that's happened. If I can be a bit of a shield to the ordinary people, the normal people asking questions, let me do that. I can cover you at least.
I think that's perfect. I think it couldn't have been any better. No job better suits you, Rain.
Anything else
Maybe other than shooting a gun. But.
Anything else you're going to kind of discuss while you're drinking in the bar?
What was
What?
What was on that data pad?
And the datapad is the picture of Davis, Anna, and Rain running from cover to cover.
I meant the one that Davis gave to Rain.
Oh, just sort of like probably a mission report.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't
my
say
understanding.
It, but Rain would have sent it off.
Done it to the best of her ability.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which, with a -1
maybe even,
intelligence and a
like,
-1 in
ask
administer, is
So-
not very good.
Yeah, they probably even asked Thomas for a bit of help and like to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If that's an official report, a few hours after that, something would happen. But
I don't think that's happening yet. But you haven't actually. Yeah, that'll be in a moment.
Right.
So anything else you're going to discuss when you're out drinking?
I think we're just
You're
getting
just
shitty.
chilling. Yeah, you're just chilling. Don't even get like proper drunk. Just, well, at least Anna doesn't get proper drunk. You guys can get as drunk as you want. Just drink like enough, you know, when you need it. And then head back to the ship. In the morning, when most people would be suffering from a hangover, Anna would actually be the one to knock on Davis's door.
Round 3. Ding, ding, ding.
So he'd come over. He'd open the door. Now, when she opens the door, she'd probably, after a couple seconds, get the smell of stale whiskey when the door opens up, because that shit actually turns pretty quickly if you leave it out. It tastes gross the next day. I know. Hard way. Like, I'll still drink it. Shouldn't have done that. So anyways, she opens up the door, and he stands there, same as described beforehand. Though I imagine if it's the morning, he's obviously recently bathed and recently shaven, changed his clothes, but they're just not as well pressed as they otherwise would have been. And the clothes he wore the day prior are probably sitting like on atop like whatever couch or sitting area there is nearby, instead of properly already laundered and whatnot. He'd be like, "Good morning, Anna."
Yeah.
I'm guessing this means you guys went and found stuff out?
No, not really. That's what we should do today. I mean, first of all, you want to give him a burial at sea, right?
Yeah.
We should do that first.
I already gave the paperwork to Rain. Make sure that all the
I don't care about the
releases of
paperwork.
body and
I care about giving him an actual send-off. I know you care about the paperwork, and she'll kind of like walk around you and kind of. Anna's not a tidy person either, but she makes like tiny efforts to try and tidy the mess, but just worse.
I also imagine she's more comfortable in this room than he is. She spent significantly more time in it.
This
over the course of
horrible,
years.
like gaudy paneled room with like old stained couches and things like that. Yeah.
So she starts cleaning it up, and he like watches after her, and like it's one of those things where he wants to not care, but then he just feels guilty that she's cleaning up a mess that's his, and he doesn't like to leave a mess anywhere. So it's like drags himself off the wall and will actually like go over and like pile up the dirty clothes. And I don't know how laundry's done here. I don't know if it's just like a chute in your room, but
Yeah, that
start
makes sense.
actually.
I mean,
he
you're
starts, like,
in the captain's
assisting.
quarters, a chute in the room. Everyone else has to carry it.
Aww. So he'll like
guys-
actually start properly doing what he needs to. He'll actually at one point in time stop, because I don't know if she continues the conversation right away or just go on.
There would be like a little bit of a pause, seeing that you're actually doing something.
I'll lift up the glass with 2 sips drank from it and say, "Do you want this?"
No. Has that been out all night?
Tomas left it.
Yeah. And she just like kind of picks up the glass and just like goes to the disposal chute and just like pours.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
like the air will clear soon. So he says, the ship was quiet last night when I left my room.
We went out. Tomas got a tattoo. Rain got famous.
That's a unique evening.
Yeah, well, you know.
I'm glad you're all doing well. It's important.
It is. Look, I am not good at speeches. But I've been where you've been. And I don't know if you're blaming yourself, but when it happened to me, I blamed myself. And then I ended up signing up on a little ship called the Magpie. So, I guess there's no real moral to this story, but there it is. I'm not good at this bit. You're good at this bit. That's why we need you to be back in shipshape. Otherwise, Rain will be organizing people. It'll be a disaster. She doesn't know how to use Excel.
What's Excel?
That's this. Look.
It's like some room management
Drink
program.
number one, boy. No, this
Just
is like Excel 3000.
Yeah.
Ah. We're still running on Windows in the future? Fuck, no wonder there was a war.
Why do you think we left Earth?
It was just a joke.
The war that chased us off Earth was the war between Apple and Windows.
That's not even like unreasonable in stars of outnumber. That would be completely accurate.
Google left eons ago.
It's like,
Oh,
That's just Wally. That's just that movie.
Yeah.
so anyways, so he's like he nods and he's like, yeah, no, I get it. I know. It's just do we want to keep doing this?
Do you?
I mean, let the Lunas and Pikes fuck themselves. I mean, the Lunans split off how many?
I don't even know if they've got anything to do with any of this. This is all one asshole who thinks that he can have a tantrum loud enough that the whole universe will hear and bow down to him. That's what Excalibur is.
At least one person has been bowed down permanently.
Yeah. I don't know about you. I kind of want to get revenge.
You live through a war long enough that revenge just kind of loses it's one of the reasons why we always go to war, right? But I get it. It's a good motivator. Quiets the noise. Gives focus where you need it.
It's a short-term thing, I guess. Look. And she kind of like puts a hand on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the funeral. Do it today. Then work it out. If you don't want to... When you're the captain, we follow you.
Let's say, and you can almost see like, because he even had the thought, he gets like a little queasy and like woozy. Like it's one of those, he actually takes a second. Like the fact that your hand is on his shoulder probably stabilized him from stumbling. He swallows down who knows, and just kind of like chokes back down. And he's like, let's say we were to press on and leave here. We don't have a full crew. We're missing at the very least a comms officer. Having a medic on board was nice, but not entirely necessary. But without someone running comms,
This kind of place, I can find us a new crew member in at least an hour.
okay. Competence, I suppose, is something that we can figure out as we go, but
Yeah, we can always, replace them.
figure it out if need be.
Can always space them.
You can tell that maybe that was the joke Anna was gonna do, but maybe not to someone who's just lost someone.
They're gonna have to take his room, aren't they?
Yeah.
He looks back throughout this room. We're gonna have to. I mean, you're not wrong. Have to keep with this fucking mission. And like you can actually see, like he actually looks at probably one of the more prized possessions of the former captain sitting in the room, and it kind of like angered look on his face for a moment, but it falls off too quickly. He's too sad to be angry for long, and so he's like, I don't want somebody living in his stuff. We're gonna have to move it here, but that means this room's gonna have to be. Can we do it tonight?
Yeah.
Contact the captain. Push it off till tomorrow or the next day or however long you can do without it.
They nearly blew up. I think they're fine to stay as long as they can.
What's security like on this base?
You know, standard.
So it sucks, which is why this happened. Have they been more cooperative since they
Oh,
didn't exactly...
I yelled at them.
He actually knows what that means. She's a bit of a spitfire. And so he gives like a quarter smile to it. He's like, tonight, like later tonight, just later tonight, I'll need time.
All right.
And he's going to go into the room, and of course throughout the rest of the day he'll actually spend a lot of time, like he'll actually contact Tamaz and have Tamaz like come in to speak with him after a little bit of time. And Tamaz, do you show up?
Tamaz would literally just show up as always.
When you show up,
following the ping as always.
When you show up, you can see that the room has been fairly stripped of like a lot of the shit that was the captain's, or most of the shit that was the captain's. Unlike before, where he was willing to like live in it, now he's like, I've got to get rid of it. But he's kept a couple of important things, including whatever it was that he just looked at angrily, probably feeling a bit guilty that he had.
It's probably like a
fleeting
fucking
motion.
golf trophy or something stupid.
But it was probably like mini golf on like a moon.
Yeah,
It's like,
well, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things that is
The only
really
attraction
stupid,
on
but
that moon.
but Mickey liked it.
so anyways, it's like a kid's fucking playhouse golf. Anyway, so he comes in, and you can see that one of the walls, like the panels that were just absolutely, like I said before, like gaudy and awful or whatever inside there, the paneling that was on it is like started to be ripped off, but like clearly he's not the person for the task, doesn't know how to properly disassemble it, so on and so forth. It's like you walk in the room and you see this, and probably without him saying anything, you already know what he needs help
So
with.
yeah, he like walks in, and knowing you haven't left this room in forever and that this is what you want to do, he puts everything together. He walks over and puts his arm around your shoulder and walks with you, and he's like, listen, and he gets you to start walking. I know what you need. I understand it. Don't worry. And he's kind of making like this very, very small talk as he walks to the door, and then he like gets you like to the doorway, and he like just puts you on the other side and shuts the door, and he starts going to work. Yeah, just like go out there, be with people, and he just like, and you can just start hearing him go to work.
It's funny. It's the only other person with override codes. So yeah, and so he'd stand there staring at the door, and probably one of those like weak, fist against the doors, like very weak, like bang, but probably so weak that because it's a metal door, it might not even be heard on the other side. And he'd stare at the door for another minute, and then he'd actually walk. He'd walk through the ship, and for the first time since the shit that happened, actually walk off the ship and just start like meandering through the station, but not interacting with anybody.
Yeah.
If there are any like security officers or whatever there, avoids the fuck out of them.
Like
It's
avoid
like,
security teams
like
and stuff.
he can feel the rage swelling up inside, and he's too experienced to give into that kind of shit. So he avoids that entirely.
Do we see him leaving?
Yes. And it's
Okay.
actually around that time when like Anna's trying to get Rain to be with like look, we need to get a new crew member. Come with me. We're gonna go like look at people. He would like walk past. We're having that conversation.
Rain looks at Anna and is like, do you still want to get that new crew member, or do you want me to follow him?
He'll be fine, and if not, he'll be fine.
Sure, just didn't want him getting mixed up and everything when he's like that, but sure.
He's not stupid enough to do something like that. I think. I
Well,
hope.
Yeah, no, I normally agree with you, but we all do crazy stuff when we're not all there, I guess. That's the right way of saying it. But yeah, no, we can go get some.
And she's gonna head out with you, just kind of looking around the station. I mean, the station has like in the middle this big sort of trading post, and she being a pilot on many ships, most of which under the radar ships, it knows kind of places to look for, trying to find like work hands, and even does the whole sort of thing like, so Rain, we need to find a new crew member for our ship. We need someone competent, like that sort of thing. And eventually, she'll stumble across someone doing something. Neil, why don't you describe your new character and whatever he would just be doing, like on the streets of this station?
Okay, so you see sort of slumped against one of the walls of the station, sort of like one leg up, head resting against the metal, one leg down. A human man not doing anything. His eyes are closed, but from his breathing rate, it seems quite fast. He doesn't seem like he's asleep. That or he's quite unwell. He looks sort of unkempt. He's got sort of short hair, and he's got maybe a week's stubble growing on him. You notice he's got a bandage on his left hand where he's missing a couple of fingers. And you can see there's like a pink dappling showing on the bandage. So you can presume that that's not super old. He's got sort of utility cargo trousers on, full of pockets. To his back, you can just see some form of tool peeking out, but you can't quite make it out because it's somewhat hidden by a leather jacket he's wearing, and that's quite unusual, I will say. He's got leather boots and a leather jacket on, and leather is not like uber common now,
especially like
this
real
is real
leather. Yeah,
pleather.
Like Anna is literally wearing a pleather jacket right now.
And so that, yeah, he's got sort of leather boots that are slightly higher than ankle height, and again on a leather cord around his neck, he's got a small wooden carved sphere.
When Anna sees you, she kind of like nudges Rain and is like, "Look, you match," and kind of like flicks your hat.
Rain upon seeing him actually sort of does a double take and then just sort of like grabs Anna's sleeve. Is like, I saw him last night in my, the dreams.
I know the dreams. So this is the guy?
I think so. Pretty hard to miss.
At that point, Anna will like just sort of step up and kind of like nudge you with like the boot, not like a kick, just like a nudge. Like, hey, you looking for a job?
He like opens his eyes instantly and eyes them both up. So what sort of weapons have they got on right now?
Anna would have her rifle with her because
previous experience.
Yeah.
I mean, if Anna's going out with a rifle, Rain is going out with a rifle.
Two women with rifles on their backs.
He'd sort of raise a hand up and say, now, I don't want any trouble.
No, literally a job.
We don't want no trouble either.
You look like you can handle yourself, though.
What sort of job? I'm not really looking for anything right now.
We have a ship. We need someone that can handle machines and do talking.
You guys have got a ship?
We got a ship. The Magpie. And of course, that ship's name has been floated around the station a lot recently.
I think I heard about it. You both fought those bad guys.
Yeah, we took them all out, more or less.
Down to hell.
Damn injustice in this world. Where's the magpie headed?
Right now, Novus and Jorinth, but it's changeable. It's a changeable ship. It goes where it wants to go.
I want to get to Novus, but I don't want it to be a chartered jump. I can't let anyone know that I'm moving on.
We can hire you on and never sign you up to the system.
Right, yeah. That would be and he like gives them both like a more searching look now. Whereas you would tell that there's an insight roll going on. That would be good. Yeah. What? I'm passable with machines. I'm good with physical tech. I'm not so good with like power fluctuation and stuff like that. But I can take some of it apart and put it back together again.
You can see Anna like thinking, but like maybe get Tom as an equipment. At least get him to sit in the seat until we can find someone who
You're
can actually.
so needy. You're so needy right now.
I
You're
know,
just like
I know.
hovering
I'm
and
so
nudging
needy
and
sometimes.
she's just like nudge, nudge, hover, nudge, nudge, please. I'm like, I brought you out. You have food.
And you say you don't like cats. She sort of just says like, oh, maybe an assistant for Tomaz until. He kind of looks. She looks you over again. Is like, you're from like a low tech world, huh?
Well, yeah, I suppose you could call it that. He doesn't offer anything else.
Yeah, no, she just kind of nods like. And you're sure, like to Anna saying, to Rain, like, you sure he's the one?
Well, as I said, pretty distinctive looking.
Yeah, he
And
is.
Rain sort of offers her hands. I'm Rain. Pleased to meet.
Prav.
She doesn't offer her hands. Like, I'm Anna. Come with me. Come with us. And that's where we're gonna take a break.
I just got the dog up here.
Yeah? Put that dog back down!
Oh, go.